Yoga was born 5,000 years ago in India, but it's never been more aspirational, more trendy, and more marketable than it is today. Between being a spiritual practice and a fitness routine, it's carved out a place for itself that sits squarely in the world of wellness. It nourishes mind, body, and soul. Today, yoga goes beyond the boundaries of culture and country and is a go-to for the most widely found creature on this planet, the busybody. Joining me today on the India Edit is Sarvesh Shashi, founder of Sarva Yoga Studios and a true modern-day yogi. He's not just my business partner, but also a dear friend. And today, we're going to chat about yoga, wellness, and the busybody. Welcome to the India Edit, Sarvesh.
Thank you
I can finally take your case on whatever this medium is, national social media.
So, thank you so much firstly for having me, Mira. You forgot to say I'm also your favorite brother from another mother. But anyways.
You are my favorite brother from another mother.
Yes, thank you. So, thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to you taking my case, and I also get equal opportunity to take yours as well. I know I have a time when it will come, and I will ensure that I utilize that time very well.
Listen, I have read that you are a modern day yogi, but somewhere I've also read that you're a millennial yogi. Are you a millennial? You can't just call yourself a millennial. You have to fall into the dates of being a millennial.
Yes, I do think so. I fall under that category of a millennial. And also I do fall under the category of definitely modern. And since I do yoga, they kind of term it as a modern yogi. So I think it's perfect.
I had the best yoga class of my life with you. I told you that. I've been doing yoga for the last 6 or 7 years, but I had the best yoga class with you 4 weeks back. And that was a huge, huge change for me, my perspective towards yoga. And you really killed me, How are you so military about yoga?
Well, that's what a lot of people who end up taking my first class, there's a big, in digital marketing, we call it a funnel drop. There's a large funnel drop when it comes to the second class, because a lot of people say the same thing that you just said, which is, why are you so military in nature? But I think I do believe that everybody has a certain limitation and they need to exceed that limitation and they need to push themselves. And typically, it's not that they can't push, they just require that external motivating factor to kind of push themselves. And I sometimes act as that motivational catalyst, if I may so call it, to kind of push. And that's what you also saw with regards to, when you were kind of pushing yourself, when we finished the entire class and when we did the last 5 minutes of gratitude, meditation, relaxation, you were already ready to do your second class. You were like, let's do another one right away. I'm good with it.
So yoga, as a modern day yogi, you've seen that yoga has had almost, like a TV show-esque makeover. The way people have makeovers on a TV show, yoga has had that over the last decade or so. And it has never been more commercial as it is today. It's never been more marketable as it is today. And you're in the business of yoga. You and I are partners. And we're not going to talk shop, but I really want to know, why is it that a company like yours, which is still in its nascent stages, is being able to raise $10 million. Along with that, the yoga has become an industry now. Why is that? Why is it that yoga has become so commercial, so marketable, even though it's been around for the last 5,000 years?
Well, see, I'll probably put this into two parts, right? First part is, yes, India is the birthplace of yoga. Yoga has a whole holistic experience to it, which is mind, body, and spirit. But what has happened is yoga has gone to the West. It's become a little over $100 billion industry just in US, if my numbers are right, as per recent reports. and at an overall level, which is yoga, mindfulness, yoga wear, etc. But India is still very, very unorganized, right? There are phenomenal people doing great jobs, but it is an unorganized industry. Like there are pockets of yoga companies, but the large players are all the so-called the guru formats, which is, the Sri Sris of the world, the Oshos of the world, Sadgurus of the world, and so on. They're doing a fantastic job in their own way, but it is a very different path. What I believe as a 17-year-old kid, when I got into meditation and yoga, of course, I got into yoga when I was 6 years old, but as a 17-year-old kid, I said, hey, listen, yoga changed my life. I wanted to spread this message. So what I did was I said there are 500 million people in India under the age group of 35. How can we package this to them in a different manner? And the first kind of step for me was to show them there is a physical difference. What the pandemic has done is it's made people realize that if there is one thing that they need to take care for the rest of their lives from today is their health. And health, not just physically, but holistically. And I think there is...
Health is a currency you want to have now.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, the health is wealth is not just a random proverb in my head. It is absolutely, absolutely true. I mean, there is nothing more important than self-care.
But see, yoga is to India what Tai Chi is to China, It has been globalized. It's now boomeranged back to us from the West. And people have actually forgotten, not all, but a lot of people have forgotten that yoga is inherently Indian. It is, India was the birthplace of yoga. We have so many forms and schools of yoga that have developed. But why hasn't it taken the stronghold that it has, in the last couple of years? Is it that yoga needed the relevance of yoga mats, group classes, aerial yoga or an app? Did it require that relevance? Because before, yoga was more like a guru shishya practice. It was taught to you because it was something, I would like to say, sacred, because it was not just a form of exercise, but it was actually a spiritual practice. It's one of the 6 schools of Hinduism. So, do you feel like, see, you are the modern day yogi, do you feel that it required this relevance? It required the context that it has today?
Again, I'll answer this slightly differently with regards to the relevance part of it, especially because yoga had many myths. Apart from the stuff that it carried of all the goodness, the sacredness, the spirituality angle of it, the awareness angle of it, the holistic health angle of it, it had a lot of myths, which is it's only for people who are old, above 40. It's only for women. You only need to do it in the morning. You can't do it in the evening. And it's only for flexible people. It's as good as saying, only if I had a 6-pack, I can go to the gym. But, it had a lot of myths. And what started happening is, with, like you said, yoga mats becoming popular. Cricketers in India, 3 things are, with inspiration, if I may so call it, politics, cricket, and Bollywood. A lot of these. You saw what Modi ji did with regards to making it International Day of Yoga. Cricketers started practicing, Bollywood started practicing. A lot of people started practicing, and Instagram, of course, made it what it is today in terms of popularity, in terms of the more difficult poses, the fabulous kind of locations, and a lot of lifestyle angles started developing around yoga, which is what, in my opinion, started that, oh my God, did I just say yoga was not cool? But I think it is cool. Did I just say yoga is not for men? But I think, what, he is doing it. He's not just becoming muscular, but also flexible. And when you become muscular...
Shah is doing yoga now. Oh. He told me that after I was doing yoga with Basava, who's part of Sarva Yoga, and he's like a part of our family now.
Likely.
Shah
he's
was
already
like,
a part
Mira,
of
the
your
best thing
family
you've given me is... He said, Mira, the best thing that you've given me is introducing me to yoga. He's more regular than I am. He's actually seen the benefits far more than I have. And he's addicted to it. And he's like, I feel so good from inside. Yoga was, when it was one of the 6 schools of Hinduism, It's a means to attain a certain level of spiritual calmness. It's not just a physical activity, but it's kind of a meditative practice to help you to enable you to reach a point where you can then proceed on to meditation. You know, it's to achieve that stillness. It's to bring all your senses together. I read some beautiful quotes from the Kathopanishad that tell you that it's bringing all your senses together, and in that moment of stillness is when you move ahead. At the same time, you know, there have been a lot of these controversial forms of yoga, like Bikram yoga. It has its own benefits and things like that. See, it started off as a spiritual practice, or rather like an ancillary to a spiritual practice, but now it is taking another form. I have to say that I may not have seen a yogi with a six pack, but I've definitely seen many yogis with very even temperament. So would you like to say that it is more for your mind than it is for your body? It is for you to get to your mind through your body?
Again, I'll just give you a slightly different perspective to this whole thing, Mira. So, firstly, I'll give a very simple meaning of yoga. Yoga means unification of mind, body, and soul. It's yoga. Actually, we've been calling it yoga. It's yoga, which means union. And secondly, the most important thing that one should know is the art anga of Ashtanga, right? It is asana, dhyana, dharana, pranayama, etc., etc. And this eighth one is called samadhi. Samadhi is nothing but a stage of thoughtlessness, right? One does meditation, which is in Hindi, it's called dhyan. Dhyan means awareness, which is you need to come in the present. That's the reason of meditation. And then there are multiple forms of meditation that has come up. There's visualization, there is sound, there is, being aware of the body, vipassana, anapana, and a lot more that has come. So I believe the purpose of yoga, in my opinion, will always be to become aware. Now, whether one has awareness having a six pack, whether one has awareness having like a non even temperament, the fundamental aspect of yoga is to be in the now. And if all of us tend to be in the now, there is zero chance, and I can debate on this for like life. There is zero chance we can be angry, we can be upset, we can be like irritated or negative in life, etc. Because like what typically people do is they are either in the future, which is the tomorrow, or they are in yesterday, which is the past. And both are not relevant. One has already happened, one is yet to happen. It's difficult, but let me tell you, it's not impossible, because I was a very, very different person pre 17 years old. I describe my life with the three A's, which is arrogance, attitude, and anger. And I don't remember the last time I've, become angry or whatever. For me, gratitude is one thing that has genuinely changed my life to a whole new level altogether. So I believe that everybody needs to, they may have different entry points towards yoga. One may enter yoga to become flexible. One may enter yoga to get rid of PCOS. One may enter yoga to just know know your internal self. One may get into yoga for weight loss. But the purpose of yoga will always remain to become aware. And all of this, I have seen it at least with Sarva, that a lot of people who want to come, they end up coming. 67% of our members end up coming to lose weight. Over 45% of them end up staying back because they're saying, I'm sleeping better, I'm much more calmer, I'm better off with my family, my children are liking me more, my face is glowing, and so on. So the byproduct ends up becoming a lot more that is internal in nature than just weight loss.
My entry point into yoga was also different. I've been doing yoga on and off, and it was always, I want to be flexible, I feel I'm really stiff. When I got into it with a certain kind of determination, was when I wanted to look after my body from inside. I remember calling you up and I was like, Sarvesh, I don't want weight loss. I don't want it to be my, workout of the day. Neither do I. I want it to be largely meditative. I do my own kind of meditation. I really want to look after my internal health. I want to nourish my ojas. I want to make sure that all my organs are working correctly, that my body is supple, my metabolism is in equilibrium. See, what's happening is that the number of people that are getting diagnosed with lifestyle disorders um, is exponential. The age at which they're getting diagnosed with it is younger, and sickness has always been more saleable than wellness.
Well, it's actually,
Somewhere it's changing now.
yeah. Well, it's. I'll give you a very interesting fact, right? 90 over 92% of all internal ailments happens because of a lifestyle problem, specifically your intake of food, which is in a nutshell itself is medicine, right? Your nutrition or the food that you intake is the reason for over 92% of your internal problems. And over 92% of your physical problems or your aches or your pains is largely linked to your posture, right? Is largely linked to your posture. And people really forget that they are very simple stuff, but people end up doing it only when there is a necessity. Like, you know what? You won't believe it. Pre-pandemic, everybody wanted 55 minutes of yoga, 5 minutes of breathing. Our class was structured in a way that was used to be 10 to 15 minutes breathing. But then after pandemic happened, they said make it 30 and 30. 30 minutes of yoga, 30 minutes of breathing. Why? Oh, my sleep is gone for a toss. I'm starting to feel anxious. I'm feeling sad. I'm negative. Why should one become unhealthy, all right, or wait to become unhealthy, or wait to put on weight, wait to get diagnosed with PCOS, skin, hair loss, etc., for them to actually start realizing, oh my God, I need to now get into healthy eating. I need to get into yoga, workout, functional training, and whatnot. It's actually very sad, but it is the bitter truth that necessity becomes the mother of all inventions, and it is always one. It's fascinating to understand that the point of realization only happens when they are hurt, when they are, when your fingers are burned, is when you start realizing, oh my God, I need to now do ABCD. The right intention is very important. You need to come in with the right expectation to kind of get the right experience. You came into the class thinking, I want internal healing. I'm not bothered about weight loss. I'm not bothered about whether, my waist is going 3 more inches lesser or whatever. You were very clear that I need this for internal healing. That's my only and sole purpose. And you're saying you've been seeing the difference. So fantastic.
Yeah, for me, it is a part of my lifestyle. It's just like I eat right, I need to do yoga. And yoga and workout are not um, in the same bucket. They're different, because one is a form of exercise and the other one is a form of healing for me. But we don't have the time to do all of these things anymore. And like I was saying, that the most common species on the planet today is the busybody. We're all busy, and the number one sickness that or condition that a doctor will write down on your prescription is stress. It's not anything else, but the busybody always has stress on his prescription. How are we going to work yoga into our lives today? Because it requires time, it requires dedication, it requires discipline. Then you see the benefits. And then the benefits come in manifold. But how are we going to work yoga into our lives today when we are so busy, when we're short of time, when we may not have the space or the place or the access?
I personally don't believe that no human in this world should say he or she doesn't have the time to take care of themselves. I personally don't believe in it, because I know many, many people who are multi-billionaires. Their net worth is 40 billion. I know many people who are Indian cricketers who are working 18 hours, working out, working, practicing 12, 16 hours a day. But that 30 to 45 minutes time is absolutely taken out for themselves. And whether it's when you're going in the car, you are traveling in an auto, you're traveling in a plane, or you're in your taxi, cab, at home, and yoga, you need a three by six space. You need a 3 feet by 6 feet mat space for all you carry, right? It's not like you have like 50 equipments around you or something of that sort. It's purely a 3 feet by 6 feet mat space that you require. But what you really require is that discipline, dedication, and determination to get out of your bed and go to your mat. That is when your mind says, hey, why do I need it? I need it only tomorrow. Oh, no, no, no. I'm fine today. I don't have any problem at all. I'll do it when I have a problem. Like, it's always waiting for the problem to happen to get into a routine of that sort. My personal recommendation or opinion would be even 11 deep breaths every day in the morning can change your life. I'm not saying Ashtanga karo, Vinyasa karo, don't do, I'm not saying that do this form of yoga, that form of workout, etc. Just do 11 deep inhales and exhales every day in the morning at that same time. No matter where you are, your life will change, right? Once somebody asked me, how many days do you think I should do yoga? My question back to them was, how many times do you have a shower in a week? Thankfully, they said 7. And I said, yeah, then that's the number of times you need to be doing yoga as well. Because yoga, like you said, is a lifestyle. It is as equal as you brushing your teeth, you having a shower, you eating food. It's as equal as that. Just that people don't realize the importance of the same.
But Sarvesh, yoga is being practiced and consumed in so many different ways. You have apps for it. You have group classes. You have that yoga sir who comes home. You have the aunties who are doing yoga classes and saying, "Mujhe sirf breathing karao." You have aerial yoga. You have so many different ways in which yoga is being practiced. My way of practicing yoga is really different from yours, is really different from Shahid's, is very different from somebody else. I mean, my brother-in-law, when we all did a group class together, he was doing it for very different reasons. I was doing it for really different reasons. Where do you see yoga in the world of tomorrow?
I'll give you an example with what you just said. In our class, you were there, Noor was there, your brother-in-law who does 2 Ironmans a year was there, and your friend Karan was there. 4 of y'all, very different individuals, very different.
We have to tell everyone what this yoga class was about. So after I had the best class of my life with you, I wanted the 2 people who I have seen are so fit but have probably never ventured into yoga. I wanted them to do this class. One of them was my brother-in-law Monish, who does two triathlons a year. He lives, breathes, eats, sleeps fitness. The other one is Karan, who I go to his gym, anti-gravity, Karan and UD both. And they're national level swimmers. And I was like, you guys are always doing lifting and you're doing, calisthenics and things like that. I want you guys to try this class because I really want you to understand and kind of get you guys rid of the misconceptions that it's slow and it's boring, and it really will work you. So I didn't tell them much. I just said, guys, I really want you to try it. And then my sister obviously came. And after that, all of them were like, oh my God, that was crazy. And you know that.
Yeah, I mean, Monish took off his shirt in between because he was dripping in sweat. He was like, oh my God, now I'm dripping here. And I'll tell you the best part, right? The question of what I foresee the yoga of tomorrow. That class, after we finished it, I'm grateful that all of you all loved it. Monish said, wow, this gave me absolute mobility and flexibility to my different parts of my body. And I think with my running, cycling, swimming, if I do this, I'll become more mobile and flexible. Karan said, wow.
And recovery.
And recovery because of the breathing. Karan said, oh my goodness, I didn't know with body weight holding postures can bring in so much strength. And Noor said, wow, I didn't know that I could actually bend and do a pose so well. That whole mountain and back to snake. She was like, wow, that's fantastic. You've taken a class, multiple sessions. You were like, this is great. I mean, it made me work out. It made sure that I had my pranayama and meditation towards the end. It gave me stretches. It made me flexible. So, but I didn't do 4 individual classes. I did the same class, but all 4 of y'all come from 4 different backgrounds, 4 different purposes entering into one group class, and y'all ended up loving it, having different benefits. That is the power of yoga. Yoga is a holistic workout. Whether you're practicing it through the app, whether a teacher comes to you at home, whether you practice it through group, individual, if you are able to believe in the app, in your teacher, in your sir, in your group of class, etc., and you found the right teacher. See, like you said in the beginning, it will always remain a guru shishya culture, right? Yoga will always remain a student teacher culture. No, there is no second.
And I have that relationship with Basava. I have that relationship with you. As much as we are complete wackos outside the class, but in the class, it is Guru Shishya, that entire philosophy is there. I mean, you really didn't make it easy for me. And you were like, I'm going to count again if any one of you puts your leg down.
Well, and I did count a couple of seconds because one of them put your legs down and I said back again and counted. So, see, that's the beauty, right? The beauty of yoga as a practice not just teaches you that, but teaches you so many other things. It teaches you that you need to be determined. You need to ensure that, the whole surrounding is respected and the sanity is kept very clean and sacred and all of that stuff. For y'all to understand the benefits
like you just
of
said, it gives you sanity and strength at the same time. It's a very unique combination. You feel so centered, but really, really strong. So, Sarvesh, I'm going to circle back to where we started from, that we've seen yoga reach a certain kind of cult status in the fitness world. A lot has to do with the fact that it has been embraced by the West. They have commercialized it. They have made it saleable, marketable, accessible. We can't deny that is a big reason for Lululemon is one of the reasons why yoga pants has become so famous and it's become a term. So you can't ignore the fact that it has been revolutionized by the West, but it is inherently Indian. The practice is Indian. The names are Indian. The way that it's being taught, it will always remain Indian, and it will always remain India's baby. But where do you see yoga in the future of India, and where do you see yoga in the future of your India?
I think first, yes, there's no second thought. And I'm very conscious and cognizant about the fact that West has really revolutionized yoga, and not just the West, but whether it's popular people, whether it's normal people, whether it's the president and so on, Canada's president, prime minister.
I think the initiative that the government has taken as well to push yoga and to make it a part of modern India is also a big reason for why we're taking to it.
Yeah, I mean, see, everybody says, what do you like the most about, in terms of what's happened in your many years of you understanding political India and so on. And I always say June 21st, World Yoga Day, 177 countries, almost half the population definitely do yoga at least that on that one day, right? It's phenomenal that 177 countries have signed the UN petition of International Day of Yoga. I mean, it is the largest number of countries who've signed a single petition, which itself is an extremely big first step towards a healthier India, towards a more, what do you say, a more aware India, if I may so call it. And like you just said, in the West, it's so popular. And, even the names, like I went to Singapore, we had taken up a place in Singapore to set up our studio. And the three most popular yoga studio names were Real Yoga, Pure Yoga, and True Yoga. Those are the three most popular countries. I'm like, oh my God. And look at us. Like, that time we were called something else, but it was amazing to see that these guys have embraced it so well. And you won't believe, they want to know about mantras. They want to know about what namaste means. They want to know about what om chanting does. They want to know about sahana bhavatu. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. We did a
But
huge.
that's also because it is something different. It is something that is not a part of their culture. It's the typical ghar ki dal situation. But I feel that the millennials of our country are now taking to yoga. It has become cool again. Yoga has become cool again. Instagram, pictures, like you said, locations. It's also people who were into fitness in a very typical manner are taking to yoga to diversify.
I have started coming across many, many people in the age group of 28 to 32 who are getting to yoga much faster. And the fundamental reason, like you rightly said, is stress. They're like, I'm stressed at work, I'm stressed at home, I'm stressed with my sport. I'm getting dropped in the games because I'm not performing. How do I play better? And so on. So we kind of make them understand that is all external validation. If you start healing internally, everything else will heal on its own.
Yeah, but I think it's wonderful what you are doing with Sarva Yoga and the app. It's making it accessible. Everyone can do it at their own pace. They can find their own kind of class they want to do. It's like fitness blender, but for yoga, which I think it's what you need today. You need it at your fingertips at the time that you want, the intensity that you want, and probably that is the future of yoga, don't you think?
Well, I absolutely think that, technology is going to be taking yoga to the world in an extremely accessible yet authentic manner. And I do believe that, India, Sarva, many, many more amazing companies, because there are 7 billion people. And Sarva's vision is always says connecting 7 billion breaths, it. And we think we need a lot more people to come to kind of make it happen. But I do think that in the next 5 years, the amount of people practicing yoga will just significantly increase like there is no tomorrow. And I do think one of the positive aspects of the pandemic, it's a paradox of sorts, but is people realizing that, oh my God, health is important, lung is important.
And I think people are beginning to respect the authenticity of yoga as well. There was a time when you wanted to make it different, but now you want to practice it in its original state. You want to practice pure yoga. So it has come back. We are practicing yoga the way that we used to. It's just become relevant to us now. You can wear a great pair of yoga pants, get a really cool mat, a wheel, a couple of bricks, but still practice authentic yoga.
By all means, there are yoga towels, there are yoga bands, there are so many amazing yoga props that has come up. You can really decorate your home with a lot of yoga props, and then just get a mat and then keep practicing.
But all you need is yourself.
That's all you need is yourself and a 3 feet by 6 feet space, which I'm sure everybody has today, and everybody needs to kind of get themselves from their bed to that 3 feet 6 feet space.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that we're doing this together.
But I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Yoga is something that I have really grown to like. The reason why I invested in the company was you, and that's how I got to yoga.
Thank you.
I saw your vision and I saw your belief, and I was like, this guy is a great guy. So on that note, thanks so much for doing this. Thank you for...
You and I have to retire with this investment. So yeah. That's the plan.
No, it's just to make yoga accessible, to demystify it, and also to enable people to respect it for what it really is. It is a gem of our culture. It's a gem of our country. So thanks for doing this. We've gone everywhere with the conversation of yoga, and I really hope more people take to it in whatever way possible. And you and I are in this together.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much, Meena, for having me, having me as a part of your phenomenal initiative of ensuring that India goes to the world.
Okay, Sarvesh, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And whatever comes to the top of your head, shoot. Okay? What are the 5 vows that you took?
Oh my God. Okay. So, well, I started doing a lot of sadhanas when I was 17, and they were all 10, 11, 21, and 40 days. 40 days was a Maun Vrat, which is complete Maun Vrat, meditating for 6 hours a day and so on. So, when I was 18, my teacher came and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be giving you 5 precepts of life." I said, "Tell me what it is." He said, "Will you do it?" And I said, "Yes." The 5 precepts were, the first one was no intoxication, which is no alcohol, no smoking, and no meat. Alcohol and smoking was easy because I'd never done it until then, was easy for me to continue. Second one was non-violence, non-violence through actions, thoughts, and words. The third one was no mental and physical stealing. Physical stealing is you physically steal. Mental stealing is, oh, Mira has a nice watch, I want to have it. Jealousy, greed, etc. Fourth one was no lying. So if I'm late because I overslept, I'm late because I overslept, not because there was traffic on the road, which means not even white lying. Fifth one was by far the most difficult, which was celibacy. I assumed all of this was for 40 days. I rhetorically told my teacher, I'll do it for 40 days, don't worry. He said, not 40 days, 7 years. I'm like, wait, but after 10, 11, 21, 40, I think there is a 60, 90, 120 days. He said, no, it is 7 years. I think it's been 10 years now. It'll be 11 years in the next 6 months.
That's
I've not
amazing.
broken any of the 5.
Okay, tell me 4 of your favorite yoga asanas.
First is Sirisasana. I love Sirisasana. Second is Mayurasana. The third is, I love the tree pose a lot. And I love Shavasana a lot because a lot of people think Shavasana is the most easiest, but it is the most difficult because during Shavasana, you can't think. You need to be thoughtless. So it's not that I'm thoughtless when I'm in Shavasana, but I think the whole, the aspect of going into the pose by focusing on your breath is fantastic and magical.
3 aspects of yoga that will always remain relevant and timeless.
The power of the breath is going to be, there's no yoga without breath. So when I mean breath is pranayama, etc., etc. Your mat, there is no yoga without your mat. And the third is, yeah, I can only quickly think of 2.
A guru.
Oh, a guru. Oh, yeah, your teacher. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, you answered that. Yeah. So, guru, your breath, and your mat.
2 misconceptions when it comes to yoga.
Oh, only, only women can do yoga. Yoga is only for flexible people. Only people above 40 can do yoga. You can only do yoga in the morning at 6 a.m. And yoga has a kind of religious angle to it. And yeah.
Last question. 1 word to describe India.
1 word to describe India. Diversity.
Thanks, Sarvesh.
Thank you, Mira. Thank you. Okay, Mira. So now it's my turn to kind of ask you the 5 questions.
Okay, fine.
If not for yoga, what is the one thing that you would choose for internal healing?
I would say meditation.
No, meditation is a part of yoga.
Okay.
So one thing apart from yoga that you would choose for internal healing.
Then I would say good quality food. Because I think there's nothing more important than your diet. What you eat, how you eat it, when you eat it, how you cook it. It's extremely important, and there's so much in that one bite, in that single bite that you consume. And that's what determines your health, your wellness, sickness, disease, immunity. So I came to you to replenish my ojas which is the essence of life. The only way that you can truly replenish and build ojas is by eating well. And the only way that you can diminish it is by not eating correctly and by not eating good quality food.
Got it. Your 3 favorite yoga asanas?
Raj Kapoor, you know that. I love it. And Halasan. And Trikonasana. There's something about it that I just love.
Trikonasana. Yeah, it is an amazing asana. The third one is, what would your, I can call it advice, I can call it opinion, I can call it reason that a 21-year-old should start the practice of yoga? When I mean a 21-year-old, what I'm trying to say is the younger generation, not post 25, but like well within this 18 to 21 range.
21-year-old, at this point of time, for your mental health, more than anything, because a 21-year-old is killing it at the gym, but with all the pressure that's around and social media and everything that's on your phone, things that you may be going through, it's to get calmness and stillness in a way where you don't need to necessarily be still. Through movement, you can attain stillness. So I would say that every 21-year-old, and one of the main reasons why the younger generation should take to yoga is definitely for their mental health. It's taken for granted that your body is very, very supple and it's more flexible than a 55-year-old. So the poses will come a lot more naturally. So the practice will be a lot easier. But what they require, and I would consider myself a part of it, is to look after your mental health.
Fantastic. Okay. The top 3 things that you have achieved by doing yoga. We did speak about many, but the top 3 in order of, this is what you love the most, that it's happened to you because of yoga. This is the second best. This is the third best in order.
I have been able to nourish my body from inside and feel it. I can feel it. I can feel that I'm healthier. I can feel that I'm more flexible. I'm more in tune with my body, and the gratification that I get when I am so flexible, there's nothing quite like it. Because you're in tune with your body and your body is listening to you. It's not resisting you. That's what used to trouble me, that my body is resisting me and I'm not being able to get into that pose and into that posture and do what it should be doing. So I think my human body is being able to do so much more than I thought I was capable of, and a lot more than I thought my potential was. And I am being able to realize what it really is. That's number 1. It's life-changing. Number 2, I've struggled with inflexibility and stiffness for a large part of my life. I can do very well at the gym, but when it comes to flexibility, I used to struggle. And I think it ties into number 1. I've always felt that why am I not being able to do it? I'm in my 20s. This shouldn't be happening. And my body took a setback after both the kids, and I've been able to get back. So the back problem that people talk about and that they tend to have, I've been able to resolve that. And it's the fulcrum of my body. It keeps me up, it holds me down, and I've been able to fix that and to make that part of my body really strong. And the third most important thing, and I won't say it's the least most important thing, is that it's an integral part of our culture. It's something that is timeless. It's something that is age-old. The benefits will always remain. It'll never go away with time. And it makes me feel really proud that yoga is a science, it's a practice. It can do for your body what no medicine can. So for me, it is being in tune with something that is integral to our culture and to our heritage.
The last question is, a lot of people come to us and say, hey, I want to follow A, B, C, D. I want to do this for 21 days. I want to do this for 60 days. We spoke about how it needs to become a part of your life, etc., etc. but it's also important to break free. It's also important to loosen up. It's also important to not suppress yourself so much
Yeah.
that if I don't do it today, oh my God, I'm feeling bad. If I
The
don't
guilt.
work out today, oh my God, I'm feeling bad. If I have a slice of pizza, oh my God, my life is gone because I just ate a pizza with cheese on it, etc. Right? Yeah, I think the bigger problem is people actually suppressing and not doing it. So if I had to ask you, how would one cheat day look in your life? Right? No yoga, no workout, nothing. How would a cheat day look in your life?
I have to tell you something, that I've become so conscious about moving, just getting up and moving. I keep putting it up on my Insta stories that get up and get moving. It may not just be working out, it's yoga, walking, anything. That if I completely vegetate now, I just don't feel good. So I feel like, let me just go and walk for 15 minutes. So I don't think I can cheat in that respect. I've skipped quite a few of your workouts. I've told my trainer I'm not coming, I'm tired, I need to recover. But cheat days are dime a dozen when it comes to my food. So whether it's a pizza or it's Chinese or it's eating Maggie late at night. I love Maggie. Yeah. My
Like
cheat day
I'll
is
put four
actually
hands when you call
it.
say Maggie. Like, when people come and say that, oh my God, you're having Maggie, aren't you a yogi? I'm like, what does that mean? Like, yogis can't have Maggie, or like, what does that mean? I have no idea about it. You need to have the right balance. You need to know what equanimity means, and I think that is one of the fundamental teachings of yoga as well. So yes, I think all of us need to know how to enjoy, same way how to be disciplined, and do both with a lot of determination and dedication, whether you're enjoying, whether you're trying to be disciplined, or whatever you're doing in life.
Thank you for being a part of the India Edit.
Thank you, Mira. It was absolutely fun, like always.
So like, share and subscribe.